Okay, so I'm going to address why Bitcoin has dropped quite significantly in the last 24 hours. I think it was a long squeeze, but there could have actually been a whale movement in the marketplace as well. Either way, what we have seen is that we reckon that is a buy the rumor, sell on the news related type of thing, where El Salvador said they're going to take Bitcoin into legal tender, but they've also bought 400 Bitcoin as part of their treasury as well, which I think is quite significant. And that obviously has brought down the entire alt market with it as well. Nobody really anticipated this, but I was shorting at 52K, which was great. But that being the case, be that as it may, we have seen the drop on the price of Bitcoin. Like, it was very, very, very sharp. The whole entire drop happened within just 5 minutes, which I think was quite crazy, right? This sharp drop that we're seeing right there, we think, oh, that's just, happened across 4 hours. Nope. If we, crack it down to 5 minutes, it actually dropped very suddenly. Within 20-30 minutes, it just went boom, crazy, just crashed all the way down to, and the low was $43,000, which is quite crazy. And another thing, this is quite interesting because Plan B tweeted, check 43K. His prediction was that in September it'll be above 43K. So that's the price that he expected to see. And that, it actually did go down to, exactly 43K. Just that very little tip there, which is quite scary. People don't often like Plan B, but you know what? It is one opinion, and I can see that he's getting it right. And I don't think his expectation of this market is completely unjustified. I do very likely see these results happening throughout the end of the year as well. So let's expect some good results on that too. Having said that, I think the alts would move forward a little bit more, so that, there's going to be more positive movements with the alts in coming months as well, just based on the movement that we see here. I think Bitcoin may trickle down a little bit more before we see Bitcoin, have a bit of a correction. But I think Bitcoin may dip lower into the high 30s potentially as well. That's definitely not out of the question. It's just a matter of applying your investment strategy so that you can actually secure more profits. But having said that, I went through this in a previous video as well. What I think the best opportunity is that in this time when we're sort of in between places right now, we have seen another peak back in 2017 right here. So back in 2017, what we have seen is a retracement of around about, about 83% right there, right? That's quite 84%. That's quite a lot. I would say even if you invested sort of within this region right here, all right, then you are creating some serious wealth. I think Bitcoin is just one of those things that are going to remain volatile until we know exactly what it is. And so having said that, I think these retracements will need to occur. In terms of what's actually happened yesterday, I don't think that retracement is literally anything. We have seen where the price is right now from the nearest all-time highs. That's really literally just only a 32% retracement. I would suspect it can go even more than that. So that was 54% retracement. So those are some good levels that you could have invested into, but that does not mean that the price can actually retrace down further, so that we see a retracement that is more historically approved down to that 80% mark. Let's say it doesn't go as far as 80% and you want to take the advantage and you want to be as aggressive as a 70% retracement mark, then we got to see some low $20,000 mark as well. So will that happen? I am quite certain that it will. Actually, I am quite certain that it will, because there was another bull run, another sort of semi bull run in 2019, which didn't beat the previous all-time highs. And like even that retraced. And I think that dip there was the coronavirus dip right there. Even that retraced 72%. So I'd say these are the better risk to reward ratio zones, just by looking at the nearest highs and investing at deep retracements from there, because we understand that this technology is going to keep going up and up and up. So at a 54% retracement at that $29,000 Bitcoin, I was telling people invest into the altcoins when this is the case. So you can invest into Bitcoin, but your gains are probably going to be shit all. Let's be honest, right? If Bitcoin does go all the way up to that 90K, 100K, 120K at the price that we have right now, 120K, that's only going to 3x your money. But the altcoins are going to behave more violently, to the movement of Bitcoin. So I suggest that you probably buy into altcoins that are going to last long. When the price is nice and low on the Bitcoins, using that as a signal to purchase it. Is it a good time to buy right now? Well, you know what? Why the freaking hell not? Because if you think about it, looking back on the charts itself, and I just take a really macro view on this, right? Even if you bought at this crazy all-time high in 2017, right? After how many years? This many. So from December 17 to December 20, if you held it during that time, you are still up anything above here is up, right? So even now, even at the lows that we have seen in the recent July dips, you're still higher than when you started off as well. So as long as you can hold these currencies, then I think it's pretty good. And you know what, other altcoins have moved quite similar to this, although XRP was not quite the same. So that's why I'm saying wait for the retracement, be patient. Patience is the name of the game if you're going to go for the long term. Of course, you can get into technical analysis and do all this crazy day trading bullshit where you may end up losing more money as well than to gain some. But if you do it well, you can make a lot of money as well. So unless you're going to do that, I'd say this is a pretty good opportunity as well. But obviously, if you invested into any altcoins at these times here, right, when you have seen that 70 to 80% retracement level, then right now you would have created some crazy generational wealth. So make sure you take that kind of approach. Can you invest into altcoins right now that there was like a 10-20% dip? Well, maybe we may see a correction, but we're going to have to keep an eye on what's going to actually happen to Bitcoin. Will it dip down even further? Actually, what did Plan B say? October. So in October, we're going to see above 63K. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, that's just one guy's opinion, right? So that may or may not happen. So does that mean you missed out? Well, no, not really. It can peak all the way up to December 135K. Even if it gets to that 135K, I probably can expect, geez, that's all the way up here in it. So it's gonna even if it's gonna go up to that 135K, I do expect that to then retrace another 80%. I said 20K, so people are going, oh, it's got to hit 20K. No, that might not be the case. The next low might be that from 130K down about 70% or 60% or whatever, you might be looking at the $40,000 mark. Okay, so when that comes, that's when you'll know, and that's when you'll see a lot of people get all scared. They're saying Bitcoin is no more, blah 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 blah. That's probably what it'll be when you need to get into the market. So if you want to be aggressive, anywhere between that 60%, I'd say 60%. I mean, even 50%. I mean, that's what this zone was from this all-time high, right? So for anywhere between 60 to like 80% retracement, I'll be buying Bitcoin and altcoins, not Bitcoin, but altcoins when the Bitcoin is retracing at that level quite aggressively, so that I can then take advantage of these gains along the way. And you know what? It's just a long-term gain, and you only invest money that you can afford to lose, of course, so that you're not going to fret when the price does dip even further, because you're doing this for the long term, guys. So it is okay for you to wait and invest if you haven't made the investment back then, that you are waiting for a better risk to reward ratio. What I mean by that also is, for example, let's say this was the very bottom. So if you invested at that time, great. But what if, because Bitcoin traces between, let's say 70, right, to 80% retracement, 85% retracements, right? And from this all-time high, we're going to go down as low as, let's just go 80%, right? $12,000, which is a ludicrous number. And people are going to call me stupid if they say, the price is going to drop all the way to 12K. People are going to call me stupid. But let's say it does go down there. Have a look at the risk to reward ratio. So if we're going to explore the previous all-time highs, that's the gain there. Whereas the potential loss is much bigger than the gains right there. Of course, if you do project that the Bitcoin is going to go much, much higher, that it's going to get up to the 100K right there, then you might argue that the reward is much greater. But how do you know that it's going to go from here to straight up there like that? How do you know that it's not going to do this and go up? So I think at various levels, at 50%, you make some dollar cost averaging in. At 60%, you dollar cost averaging. If you see 70% dollar cost averaging, if it doesn't quite reach down to the 70% mark or 80% mark, that's okay. If it reaches that 50, 65, and then 80% mark, well, then you just make sure you dollar cost average in. If it doesn't quite reach the 80% retracement and it goes up, well, that's okay. You still caught reasonably close to the bottom of the market, so that it can do a run up to its 100K. That's where you're gonna make money, right? So and buy into altcoins by stretching out your risk curve. I digress. Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. Peace out.